Today is Ray's famous meatballs, big batch style, great for a Sunday afternoon. Recipe will be below. With the amount of meatball mixture we had and the size that we made, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, we ended up with 82 meatballs. This is fantastic. So I'm gonna put some in the fridge for dinner. And of course, while you're making them, of course you're eating them because they're just really good. The rest, I'm gonna make individual baggies for the freezer. And anytime we need meatballs, all I have to do is pull them out of the freezer. What a way to spend a Sunday afternoon making big batch of meatballs. Look at those, they're gorgeous and they're really good. So today we're gonna use our homemade breadcrumbs that we have in a previous video, and I can link that below. But we are spicing it before we're adding this to our meatballs. We've added oregano, basil, parsley, onion powder, garlic powder. And really, it's as much as you want. Start adding some, smell it, see how you like it. All right, you're gonna chop up your garlic thin and your onion. So we cut up 5 cloves of garlic. It equals to about 1/4 cup, and 1 good sized onion for about 1 cup of onion. So we're going to use 1.25 pounds of ground beef. We like to use 73%, and 1 pound of ground pork. You're going to mix that together in a large bowl. We do like to use 73%, but of course you can use any percentage you like. We like 73. It gives it some extra oil and it's not a dry meatball. We're going to start adding our homemade breadcrumbs. Right now we're going to add about 3.5 cups, and then when we mix it all together, if we need more, we'll add more. All right, we're going to add our onions. It looks like 1 small onion is about 1 cup, so we'll start with that. And we're going to add our garlic. That's all chopped up. This looks probably about 1/4 cup. I think it was 5 cloves we did to start. We're going to start adding our grated Parmesan and Romano. Put in about 1.5 cups right now, and then once we make our test meatball, we'll see if we need to add any more cheese. Now we're going to start adding our spices. 1 tablespoon of oregano, 4 tablespoons of parsley, 2 tablespoons of onion powder, 3.5 tablespoons of garlic powder, and 4.5 tablespoons of basil. Use your hands, get in there and mix all those spices, the cheese and the breadcrumbs all together, and just keep mixing till it's well incorporated. For our liquid, we like to use whole milk. We're going to start with 1 cup, and then we're going to keep adding gradually till we get to the consistency that we like. If you don't want to use milk, you can substitute broth. So we added a total of about 3.5 cups of milk. You want to just keep mixing, get it all incorporated, get it to a feel that you like. You don't want a dry meatball, so you want to make sure that you add enough liquid and just keep mixing. Today, meatballs. Ray's famous meatballs. They're so good. All right, I have a 12-inch cast iron pan, and I've added 24 ounces of vegetable oil. I have it on medium-low temperature. We're gonna let that come up to temperature. We're gonna make our first meatball, and we're gonna do a test. All right, we're getting ready. We're gonna make our first test meatball. Roll the ball about 1.5 to 2 inches. Make sure your oil is nice and hot and up to temperature. You're going to cook this on one side, and you're going to leave it until it starts to brown. You're going to flip it 1 time. Okay, that side has been cooking for a little bit. We're going to flip it over. We want to see a nice brown golden color on the other side. And then we're going to let that side cook, and you're not going to flip it again. You're only going to flip it once. It will probably take about 8 minutes to cook this meatball. All right, Now we're going to test the other side. Flip it over. Oh, see how nice and brown that is? That should be done inside all the way through. So we're going to take it out and let it cool. It's done in the middle. Let it cool. Taste it. See if your meatball mixture needs any other spices or anything added to it. Are you ready to taste this meatball? I'm telling you, they're the best meatballs ever. Oh my God. I don't think it needs anything. Delicious. All right, our taste test is a success. So we do not have to add anything. We are just gonna start rolling them up and start cooking them. And again, let it cook on one side before you roll it. Total time, approximately 10 minutes, 9 minutes, somewhere in that area. And then take them out, put them on a paper towel, and let them cool. It's cooking pretty good, so we're gonna turn it down a little bit lower. We don't want them burning before they can cook inside. Make these meatballs any size you want. You could make small ones if you want to make Italian wedding soup. I like this size, and then we put some in the fridge and we freeze up the rest and pull them out when we need them. There's always the option of baking your meatballs instead of cooking them in the oil. Brown the sides a little bit and then put them in the oven to finish cooking. Look at that. They have been flipped once. Wish you could smell this. It's delicious. So I would be cautious adding any salt because cheese, grated cheese, has a good amount of salt in it, and it's just enough for good flavor. The amount of meatball mixture we had and the size that we made, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, we ended up with 82 meatballs. This is fantastic. I like putting individual baggies inside of a freezer bag, and that way anytime I need some meatballs, all I have to do is pull them out of the freezer. This is Linda with Homestead by the Lake. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you come back for the next one.